Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of Silvera Sessions. Thank you so much for the positive feedback, all the love and support that everyone provided me on the last episode. It was truly amazing. I really appreciate your support. So if you could subscribe, share this podcast, the last podcast. We're going to have so many more podcasts to come, many more sessions, special guests, you name it. So let's get into this episode today. On this episode, I really wanted to touch base on a question that I get asked all the time. It's like, how did you start DJing? How do I get booked for DJing? Where did you even begin to start? Because you're new here in this big city, don't know anyone, and all of a sudden I'm starting to get booked. All of a sudden I'm starting to get actually recognized in public, and people are reaching out to me and booking me for gigs. And it's not all simple and easy where all of a sudden you become a DJ and you start getting booked. Sometimes it takes months to get booked, even years. I've heard some DJs say they didn't even get booked for a gig until a couple years after they actually started DJing. So just know that everyone it's different. It's about finding the right connections, about putting yourself in the right rooms, as well as putting yourself out there as much as you can. So that's really what I want to touch base on today and kind of tell you some cool things that I've done, opportunities that I've gotten, and how you can get them for yourself as well. And we got a special guest today. We got my kitty cat. Her name is Sen from the movie Spirited Away, if you've ever seen that. Yeah. Say hi, Sen. Can you say hi? Oh, she said hi. Oh my goodness. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to explain literally exactly how I started in the city DJing. My first gig, how I got it, point and blank. So back in the summer of 2023, I went to a networking event at Laval, which is downtown Toronto. And I met this woman who's a very successful entrepreneur, and she hosts her own events, and she's very inspiring, very motivational. In September of 2023, that's when I first had the idea of I actually wanted to take DJing seriously. So one weekend, I went out and bought my DJ controller, the SRT 1000. I went to Long and McQuaid, and I went and purchased the controller. A few days later, this woman reached out to me on social media and sent me an invitation to one of her networking events that she was hosting. So I was like, it was kind of far. It was in Vaughan, which is maybe an hour out from my house. I didn't know if I actually wanted to go, but on that day, I was working at my 9 to 5, and then I was sitting there. I was like, why not? Let me go. Let me go to my first ever networking event by myself. Let me put myself out there, see what can come out of it. So I went to the event. There were only maybe about 10 people there, 10, 15 people, but they were all creatives, which was very inspiring to see. Everyone in the room was creative, had ideas, and it was such a good, intimate setting to be able to actually interact with people and have proper conversations where you're not yelling in someone's ear. Because I've been to networking events where there are hundreds and hundreds of people and you can't even hear the people that you're connecting with, and it's very difficult to actually build a proper relationship with those people in those settings. So at this event, I was able to connect with everyone there because it was such a small, intimate group of people. There was one person that I was having a conversation with specifically, and he's a DJ here in Toronto. He goes by the name Maga K. Shout out to Maga K. Literally has helped me on this journey so far, so much, and really has created a big impact in my life as a DJ. So I was there having a conversation with him, and he was kind of giving me the ins and outs of what it's like to be a DJ here in Toronto, and kind of gave me the idea of a blueprint of what the steps I need to take are to become a DJ, because literally only a couple days before that event had I bought my controller. So I was able to exchange contact information with him, and we were able to actually build a solid business relationship where he helped guide me on the right path to becoming a DJ in the city, letting me know, hey, you need a logo, you need a solid name for yourself, and all the little things in between that I didn't really know about because this was a new journey for me. I never interacted with any DJs besides my father, of course, but I never interacted with DJs. I never went clubbing in the city. I never been to parties. So I wasn't really too sure what the scene had to offer me and what the steps would be to actually become a DJ. And if I were to actually take this seriously, I needed to take these steps, So this was a very important and crucial interaction in my DJ career that actually boosted me to get me where I am today. From this interaction, I was able to then create my logo, get myself out there, take photos of myself where I was able to put them on flyers and everything like that, and start building my brand slowly. And after maybe about a month of that interaction, I was able to land my first gig. I was put on a party that was taking place at District Lounge, which is in Scarborough, and that was my first ever gig. That was October 13th, 2023, and I will never forget that night ever because it wasn't a big crowd in the venue, but I was really nervous, obviously. I was so nervous, never performed live like that in front of people, so it felt like such pressure, and so I was nervous, excited, all of the emotions, literally everything. So at that event, the party started at 10, but I got there at like 9:30 because I was super anxious and nervous, and I didn't know like what time people show up and all these things because I never went clubbing. I never interacted with people. I never interacted with DJs, so I didn't really know the etiquette of that. So I made sure I was there super early and everything. And I opened the party, and then I played, and then I was able to close the party as well, which was kind of cool. And people did come up to me after the party. I'll never forget. People came up to me like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good DJ. How long have you been DJing for?" I'm like this is my first gig ever. Like I'm not really even a DJ yet. Like this is just me starting out. And they were like, "What?" We exchanged social media, and they've been following my journey ever since. And it's truly amazing to see where I started and where I am now, and that was my first gig ever. And I'm forever grateful for everyone that has been supporting me and pushing me and putting me on their parties and believing in me and trusting me that I'll be able to offer the audience a good experience, And that's basically how I started DJing in the city. My first gig ever, how I got that gig, the support system that I have behind me. It's so important and so beautiful, and I appreciate everyone that has helped me along this journey so far. Secondly, to that question of how do I get booked for gigs now? Like now, a lot of my bookings are based off of my social media. So since I have grown my social media to such a great degree, I've been able to get bookings that way. People reach out to me on social media or through email as well, and they book me for their events. And even too, I do get bookings through a tight group of people that I always work with. There are some DJs that you just always work with reoccurringly, and it is a solid group of people out here, and I do appreciate all of them individually, And then I also want to touch base on like some of the very cool gigs that I've had so far. Like only DJing for a year, some of these things that I've done is truly incredible. I wouldn't have even imagined being able to play in some of the arenas that I've played in, or talk to the people that I've talked to, or connect with the people that I've been able to. And I'm truly like honored and truly grateful for every experience that I've had so far being a DJ, and there's just so much more to come, and I'm so excited, Some of the coolest things that I've done. First thing, I went to Japan back in 2024, February 2024, and I didn't have intentions of DJing there initially. Before I went, I was DJing at one of my friends' parties, and they're like, "Oh, are you excited for Japan? Like, are you gonna go DJ when you're there?" I'm like, "Go DJ in Japan? What are the odds of me doing that? Like I don't think that could happen. Like, how would that even happen?" They're like, like a good rule of thumb to have is try and DJ in every city or every place that you visit. And I'm like, that's a good point. Like that opens up more opportunities, more connections, and everything like that. So it was literally a week before I had to go to Japan. I went on social media and I was messaging people from Japan that I noticed are DJs. So I was trying to find different DJs in Japan, and I found some very cool DJs that were able to speak English. I know a little Japanese, just a little bit. But I was able to interact with people from Japan and ask them if there were any bookings available, any gigs that are open, any slots that are open that I could hop on. So I reached out to a few people and we were able to make some things happen where I was able to actually DJ at a reggae club in Japan, in Tokyo actually. So it's very cool. And then also I was able to connect with my hotel at the time in Japan where they had their own DJ studio. And then I had a showcasing set at the hotel at the time. So we did a photo shoot, and then we did, I had a session where I played music for the hotel for about an hour. It was very, very cool experience. 10 out of 10. I love Japan and I can't wait to go back and do some more bigger events and DJ. They actually have like a crazy cool dance hall and reggae scene out there, and it was actually very, very nice. Another gig that I was truly amazed that I got the opportunity to be a part of was Jerk Fest in Toronto. I remember I went to Jerk Fest in the summer of 2023, and I was sitting there and I told myself that one day I really want to be on this stage DJing. Like, that's when I first wanted to actually pursue DJing, and I told myself in that moment when I was sitting there, like, one day I really want to do this. I want to be able to be up there and showcase my skills. So 2024 came around and it was close to the summer. And this is when I was actually gaining some momentum on social media and was actually becoming a little bit more popular in the city. I was actually getting booked, had some gigs. So I had a little bit under my belt at this point, right? So I saw Jerkfest was coming up and I was like, maybe I could try and reach out and see if they would accept me to be one of their DJs. So I sent them a nice email, including like my media kit, everything that I have to offer, who I am, told them a little bit about myself in case they didn't know who I was, obviously. And so I reached out to them, and thankfully, I appreciate the opportunity so much. I was able to get booked for the Saturday and Sunday for Jerkfest, which is amazing. I was first on the smaller stage, and then I was on the main stage DJing in front of people. So I would say that was a 10 out of 10 experience. I really felt like I was meant to be on that stage in front of people, and I felt like I belonged, and that really motivated me to continue doing what I was doing, you know, because I was able to put myself on such a big stage and perform for people and show what I could do and show that I'm a female DJ here in Toronto that's able to know old school music, new school music, and perform for people. Every gig that you do is a once in a lifetime gig, you know, because you're never going to get that environment back. You're never going to get the same exact people back coming to that specific event, right? So every opportunity that you get is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I cherish every event specifically, you know? One last city that I was able to travel to and get booked for, which I'm going back to again, is New York. I was able to get booked for a gig in New York, which was so cool. For New York specifically, what I wanted to accomplish was to be able to DJ there, because it's something that I was dreaming about doing. I really wanted to do it, so I did everything that I could to put it into existence. So for New York, what I did was I went on Eventbrite and saw any and every upcoming event that was happening in the city, and I reached out. I found out who the promoters were of the events, and I reached out to them to see if they needed any DJs. So there was one specific event that was on a boat, and I reached out to the promoter and said, hey, I'm a DJ here from Canada, and I would really love to be a part of the lineup for DJing. So they said, yeah, of course. So I was on a boat in New York and I was DJing. It was so cool. I really enjoyed that experience. And then I'm going to actually be going back to New York this summer, June 27th to July 1st. And I'm going to be DJing there. So I'm really excited to go back to a city that I absolutely love and show my talent and show how much I've grown since the last time I've been there, you know? So everything's about growth, everything's about development. And I really just want to be able to reflect back on last year when I DJ'd in New York and see how much I've grown to this year and what I'm able to offer the audience. When it comes to getting booked for DJing, especially when you're starting out DJing, it's very important to reach out to people, connect with people, and even when you're out in the club DJing, connect with people, exchange your contact information, your social media with other DJs, and put yourself out there and show that you actually want to be there. If you don't show that you want to be there, you're not going to be able to get booked. You have to put yourself out there. It might be a little bit scary at first to put yourself out there. You're vulnerable, right? You're putting yourself in an environment where you're asking people, hey, can I hop on this party, instead of them coming to you. But if you wait for people to come to you in this setting, you're never going to get booked. I got to a point where I was confused why no one was booking me. It was a few months, but I'm like, hey, I just started out DJing. I should probably reach out to people to see if I can show what I can do as a DJ, you know? So being able to reach out to people is so important. And I would say that's the top thing that you need to do as a DJ. I've also heard of people paying for a time slot when they first started DJing, which I find is crazy. I feel like you don't need to pay anyone, but just asking someone, hey, can I be the opening DJ or the closing DJ? Asking for slots that established DJs really don't want to play in. That should be where you target if you're reaching out to people like, hey, can I open? Can I close the event out? That would be a very proper thing to do. And then once you do that set, once you do that opening DJ set, you stay around for a little bit. You don't just leave right after. You stay for an hour or two, see how the other DJs play, see what the crowd likes, talk to the DJs, connect with them, you know, put yourself out there and really network, because networking will help you grow altogether. And really being able to analyze the setting as a whole is very important, because I know when I first came to the city, when I first started DJing, I literally never been clubbing. I didn't know especially in Toronto, I didn't know what it was like, what the atmosphere would be like. So it was definitely a learning curve. So when I went downtown for the first time to play in a club, it was such a learning curve, because I realized that these crowds like something different than the people that I play for in Brampton or in Scarborough. Every area is different, every club is different, every party is different. So being able to expose yourself to as many different scenes and as many different environments as possible is very important. So maximizing your skill set, maximizing the genres that you play, and everything like that in between is so important. So that's why reaching out to people, networking, and putting yourself out there is so important. So with that, I just want to say thank you for watching the second episode of Silvera Sessions. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, everything in between. And we will be back for another episode 3. We have a lot more to unpack. We will have guests coming in the future. We'll have artists, we'll have other DJs. So I'm so excited to share more with you. I hope you have an amazing day. Stay positive, stay happy. Love you all. Bye.